My name is Ardith Amon. I'm from Amherst, Ohio, so it's about an hour north of here, about 30-40 minutes west of Cleveland. Yeah, so it was actually the last school I looked at. I originally looked at schools for biology, but then my AP literature teacher, Mrs. Opal, told me to check out the Ashbrook Scholar Program because her daughter, Ryan Opal, who is now staff here, was currently a scholar in the program. So she was a freshman when I was a senior in high school. And it's a funny story, actually, because I thought I was going to the College of Worcester for biology, and I told Mrs. Opal, I told her that, and but I respected her opinion and looked up to her, and Ashland was only an hour away, and so I figured I'd just come and check it out. But I told her in class, it's not going to change my decision, and she laughed at me. And here we are, 4 years later. I'm majoring in political science and history, and I don't have any minors. But not having any minors has given me a little more freedom to just take a lot of interesting classes. So. It's a good question. I love their giant stuffed shells. Like, something like you get Olive Garden, but they have it combo every once in a while. Some people might say the sushi night, or they have this crab night for food, but I'm not a seafood fan, so I'll go for the giant stuffed shells. The sandwich bar is also very good for lunch. Yeah, so my thesis is about Jane Austen and Aristotle. So the question is Jane Austen Aristotelian? So I'm looking at Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics and Austen's Pride and Prejudice, and I'm looking at how they understand happiness and the correlating role of virtue, and hopefully by doing that we can learn how to live a better life ourselves. I think so, but it might be revised, but currently it's something simple. It's just Austen as an Aristotelian, happiness and virtue, and Pride and Prejudice. To never eat again? I'd have to say tacos, because I eat cookies and pizza more regularly, and they're too good. I just had the best garlic pizza ever a couple days ago, and I didn't know that it existed, and it was life-changing. This is a tricky question. You're gonna get me yelled at. Well, am I allowed to answer this? I have a lot of different favorite professors for different reasons, but I will say Dr. McBrayer. I'm in my 6th class with him right now. He's working through a bunch of different works by Xenophon, who's a political philosopher, ancient Greek political philosopher. He's also my thesis advisor, and he's been really supportive throughout my time here, and I've learned a lot from him. I think I've become a better writer and a better thinker because of him and his papers. I remember the first time I got an A on one of his papers, and it was very exciting because I hadn't got one before, and you could just see the progress I was making and really grappling with the text and asking the right questions, and yeah, it was pretty cool. And so I'm gonna get flack from all the other professors now, but it's okay. That's also a good question. It's gonna be a little funny if it's not a class by Dr. McBrayer. I'm gonna give 2 because I like giving 2-part answers. One of the classes that was really kind of changing for me in a way that we'd asked questions that were important and relevant and just hit home for me was in my ancient political thought class with Dr. McBrayer. We read Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. This is the first time I was introduced to the book that I'm reading about and writing on for my thesis. So that's one of them. But I also, last semester, took a class with Dr. Sekinga called Human Being and Citizen. It's the capstone political science course for all seniors, and it was just phenomenal. We read Tocqueville's Democracy in America all the way through, and it was just fantastic. So. I have recently accepted a teaching position at Great Hearts Trivium Prep in Goodyear, Arizona. So I'll be teaching a class to 9th graders called Humane Letters in the American tradition. So I'll be teaching American literature and history. So I'm looking forward to that. And then long term, I hope to go to grad school. But end goal totally is I want to teach. So when I was younger, I always wanted to be a whale, or a dolphin, or just something that lived in the sea. It's so majestic. That was cool. But I'll have to change my answer from when I was young. It'd be cool to be a horse. Everyone who knows me will laugh when they hear that. I've been riding horses for 10 years, and I think they're just really cool animals, and they're really graceful, and they can do a lot of different things. And so, yeah. So my favorite Ashbrook story is not one that's necessarily funny or like that, but I think it's just really wholesome and heartwarming, and just kind of is a glimpse into the kind of atmosphere we have here between the students and professors. And so last semester I took a class with Dr. Wiley, late modern political thought. It was a small class, there were only 6 students in it, and he had another smaller class, seminar style, on political economy. I think it was international political economy. But at the end of the semester, he invited both classes over to his house for dinner, and his wife, Christine Wiley, made us these fantastic meatballs, and those were also life-changing. But it was just really nice because we got to talk, and we had dinner, and then we also played a game. We played Taboo, but it was just a really nice way to end the semester and time to relax and have good conversations with our friends and our professor, and his kids were running around, very chaotic but fun. And it was right before finals, and so it was a nice way to relax, and you get a lot of stuff like that here. There's one time, this is a different story, one time Dr. Burka invited several students to go watch Dune in the movie theaters, and there's a movie theater in Mansfield, and that was fun. There's times where he'll invite students over to his house, and he'll make his famous chili, and it's so good. It's so good. Also life-changing. And then I guess one other story is when I worked at the academies 2 summers ago, the Ashbrook Academies for high school students. It was nice being around the students, around the professors, and getting to see what it's all about, and getting to see high school students be introduced in reading primary sources and being asked to engage in class, and seeing the light bulb moments on their face when they realize what the professors are trying to get them to say. Dr. Burkett would bring my friend Michaela and I blueberries every day. It was awesome. It was very sweet. My coffee order always has some sort of sugar and milk in it because I don't understand people who drink black coffee. When I go to Vines, I always like to get their seasonal drink. And right now they actually have several. So there's a Nutella kind of like iced latte drink. That's really good. Peppermint mocha drink is really good. They had a Harry Potter themed drink, butterbeer. It's really good. So I always like to get the flavorful kind of fun drinks when I go to coffee shops.
Okay.
This is a great question. Thomas Jefferson. So definitely Thomas Jefferson. He's been really fun to study in my history classes, and he's so complex, and there are so many questions surrounding his thought and his character, even though he's widely studied. So I'd love to actually get to talk to him. And I also know he plays chess, so while he definitely beat me, I'd love to play chess with Thomas Jefferson after dinner, of course. Second person, I think it'd be awesome to talk to Jane Austen. So she'll come to my dinner party. We'll have good British tea, of course, for her, and we could talk about her books, and I could figure out if I'm missing anything important. And third, I'm trying to think if there's anyone alive who I'd really like to talk to, but I spend so much time reading books from people who have passed away that they're kind of who I want to talk to. I'll go for Aristotle. Fill out the the three and talk to two people who I'm studying for my thesis, and one person who I've studied a lot in history and have really come to enjoy reading his thoughts. So Thomas Jefferson, Jane Austen, and Aristotle. A lively bunch. Yeah, I like to go on walks a lot. I'm not really sure if people call that a hobby, but I'll call it a hobby. I guess I haven't done it so much in college, but um, it's also kind of a sport. But my big hobby was riding horses. I had a horse named Whiskey for the longest while. I just sold him recently. He's giving lessons to kids who are just learning to ride, and he's fat and happy and doing that. So he taught me a lot about life and about riding, of course, and hopefully he's doing that for others. So those are my hobbies: walking and reading. I like to read when I have time. Most of the time I spend reading for class, but I've been trying to read more books for fun, so I have a different way to relax and kind of unwind from the day. Well, my number is not 7. Uh, how about we go with 13? So I've said the term life-changing several times, but it really is a song. It's called Underground by Cody Fry, and you don't expect it to be life-changing because it's a really slow build, and then it comes to this awesome like conclusion where this singer is bringing in an actual orchestra to play along with him, and there's this great French horn part, and it's awesome. So I'd listen to that. I also typically just listen to songs multiple times before I move on. But I've been listening to this song for the past week, ever since my friend Sabrina recommended it to me. So that song, Underground by Cody Fry.